Happy game week. Happy game week. All right, excited to get the start of the season rolling here. Obviously, a lot of anticipation, a lot of work's gone into this. Excited for Saturday and get an opportunity to coach our guys, lead our guys, see our community, and see everyone show up so we can pack Snapdragon and have an unbelievable home atmosphere for a dangerous opponent in Texas A&M Commerce. What do you guys want to talk about?
What's your main message to the team with this game, Coach?
Control the controllables. Right, there's a ton of variables to this, obviously, with all the change that's happened here, all the change that's happened on their roster, and there's always some fun with week one where you got a lot of extra time on your hands to chase ghosts and do different things, right? So when the moment comes, we got to make sure that we're controlling the controllables, right? Like what's our mindset, what's our focus, what's our attention to detail, what's the effort that we're playing with, and doing that consistently for 4 quarters, one play at a time.
You got one controllable you want them to focus on, what would it be?
Their focus, right? I mean, it's the first day of school today. This is going to be a first time for a lot of these guys, playing meaningful snaps in a role that a lot of these guys are not accustomed to. You know, a lot of guys getting their first starts, and there's a lot of expectations. Their roles and responsibilities have grown, you know, from where they were here last year in the past or where they were coming from, right? So literally their focus, right? Where are they putting their time, their effort, their energy all through this week leading up to the moment, and then being present in the moment on Saturday with an elite level of focus.
How much anticipation is there for you, Sean? I mean, you talk about changing jobs to camps to build up. I mean, it's finally here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, right? I mean, like this is everything that we've done since we've gotten here, right? Like creating buzz and, you know, doing the surfing and all the community activities and all that stuff's been a lot of fun, right? And it's been great to get immersed in San Diego. But, you know, we're here to pour into guys, and we're here to maximize these 12 opportunities, these 12 games that count the most, right? And so to be in game week and to be present in this moment and to go, you know, learn about our team and see what we got and to step in that competitive arena with them, I'm really excited for that opportunity.
I think fans have heard a lot about Aztec fast offense. What can they expect to see when they finally get out there on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a fun brand of football, right? Where those guys are being accountable to one another, where we're smart and we're, you know, limiting the unforced errors and the foolish penalties, and that when push comes to shove, that they're a tough unit, right? That finds a way to handle the adversity that we know is going to come, because winning's hard regardless of who the opponent is, right? But they find a way to overcome that and come out on the right side play after play after play.
And then last one for me is just your decision to go with Danny, what went into that, and how excited you watched a true freshman be out there.
Yeah, I mean, his consistency in his prep, you know, the way that he went about his process and just the way that he's conducted himself since he's been here, right? And so, you know, it's our job to put him in a great position to be successful. It's the job and the role of everyone within the organization in all 3 phases to be at their best, right? Knowing that this is going to be his first collegiate start and as a true freshman rolling through it, right? So that they can help him be better and so that he can help those around him be better. But, you know, again, he's earned that opportunity and excited to lead him and guide him so that we can find success.
What's your scouting report on Texas A&M?
Dangerous, right? I mean, that they have gone out and, you know, gotten some real weapons at the wide receiver position. They like to spread you out. They lean on the run game. You know, they're not afraid to throw 4 verticals. Their quarterback is a dual threat kid who, you know, 2 years ago was productive and dangerous. You know, defensively, they'll come off the bus and blitz you from anywhere and everywhere. You know, and you know you got to, again, know and understand how challenging it is to win, regardless of who the opponent is. And these guys have enough players. They're really well coached, and you know, they're dangerous enough, right? And they're going to stress you in a lot of different ways. So we got to, you know, handle what we can, control the controllables again, right? And make sure that we're doing our part, right, to go earn this victory.
A lot of people are going to see they were 1-9 last year. Is this a whole different team?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's been a ton of changes. They got new play callers. They went and got some pieces out of the portal, and yeah, don't let the record fool you. They're a dangerous club, right? And again, winning is hard, and we have to respect this process as we go through it. We got to do a great job, you know, within the game, and make sure that, you know, we maximize the opportunities that we have.
I would think you'd still be a prohibited favorite. Is there any concern your players would look past them because you have another, you know, powerful school coming up?
I think we'd be very foolish to do that, and I know as a staff we're going to make sure that we're locked into this moment right here.
What is it about their quarterback, Eric Rodriguez, who didn't play last year? What kind of type of skill set does he have?
Yeah, I mean, he's very accurate. He can extend the plays, right? If you don't do a good job with your rush lanes and keep him in the pocket, you know, he can extend plays and create both with his arm and with his feet. You know, and he's a savvy football player. You can tell that there was a level of comfort, you know, in 2022 as he continued to move through it to where he was making good decisions with all that he was doing, right? So, you know, he's got a high football IQ. And again, like that dual threat ability, it's always a little bit concerning. It causes for some sleepless nights, right? Because he can hurt you in a lot of different ways with both his arm and his feet.
What about just special teams in general week one? Because it feels like, as opposed to offense or defense, you're kind of cautious in terms of going live with special teams at times. How much of a factor can it be, one big play special team?
Huge, right? I mean, I think we saw that in a lot of the week 0 games, to where, there's things that pop up in special teams, and that's really the glue that holds, the offense and the defense together, right? And so, again, you got guys that need to embrace their roles. They have an all-conference punter on their sideline who's, a dynamic playmaker for them in a lot of ways. I mean, shoot, there was a play last year where, it wasn't even designed, fake punt, where he kind of bobbled the snap, picked it up. There was no contain to it, and he just ran forward, and and he's along the right edge there, and it's like, he's got a vice tackle coming at him, and there's 2 or 3 yards to get the first down, and he just lowers his shoulder and plows ahead and extends the drive, right? And so again, like, we got to do a great job again of knowing each and every single play in all phases of this game are going to matter, and teams obviously have to do their role, so that's a competitive advantage for us. Coach Barton does a tremendous job, with our teams, and the whole staff, is very involved in that process. Our kids have done a great job, embracing what it takes to turn that into a competitive advantage. So excited to see the positive momentum and the positive impact that our kids are going to have in that phase of the game.
What do you expect from their defense?
For them to pressure us up, right? I mean, that's what they've shown. They're not afraid to challenge anyone on the edges and press man-to-man, and to play cover 0, and to get an extra hat in the box. So again, I expect them to do more of the same, right? Probably bring a little bit more pressure again with a true freshman quarterback starting, right? And test those edges. I think they're gonna, that's been their MO. And even though they have a new defensive play caller, they promoted from within, and they've shown that their willingness to be aggressive.
You mentioned Danny's knowledge of the game. How beneficial is that knowledge going to be going into his first start here as a true freshman?
Yeah, huge, right? I mean, you got to have that fundamental understanding of what needs to get done, right? How to operate, and I think, again, having the new technology that we'll have at our disposal with the tablets on the sideline and the in-game communication to the coach-to-player comms, will be able to help him as well, right? But I mean, he's a very, very headsy kid. He's doing an unbelievable job studying and preparing. All the kids in the room are, and without that fundamental understanding of what's going on, right, he wouldn't be getting the ball to start this thing.
When it comes to the offensive and defensive line, how important is that battle in the trenches going to be on Saturday?
It's going to be key, right? I mean, they love the football. They love to run the football, right? They lean on that first and foremost, and then they work quite a few play action passes off of that to stretch the field vertically, right? So we got to do a great job killing the run up front, and obviously with the D line and with our backers, that's critically important, right? So that we can take that advantage away from them, and then again to be able to establish what we want to do offensively, controlling and winning at the line of scrimmage. A lot gets made about all the skill guys, but the game's won in the trenches, and we got to do a great job up front.
How did the backup situation, quarterback sort out behind the game?
Yeah, I mean, still going through it and still competing as they continue to go. Again, I've been very pleased with Javance's strides and the way that he has, really grown through this camp as we go into it. But really feel good, whether it's Javance or Duffy. If something were to happen to Danny, either one of those guys going in.
So who would it be if something happened?
We're going to still continue to go through the week and see how it sorts out.
Would you anticipate all 3 of them seeing some time in this first game or not?
No, I mean, the only way that's going to happen is if we do our job in all 3 phases and, we get in a very advantageous situation. But again, this is a very worthy opponent that, I don't see that right now as I sit here on a Monday, that being in the cards.
How about as far as the playbook? How deep do you figure you're going to go in?
As deep as we need to.
John, you mentioned packing Snapdragon Stadium, something that's kind of lacked in the last year. How do you build that brand up?
I mean, with all the things that we've done since we've been here, and then putting a great product on the field on Saturday, so that those that are there have an unbelievable experience, through all the hard work that everyone in the athletic department has been doing, right? And that we do our part in between the white lines, that people who are there want to come back next week, people who aren't there feel like they missed out on something, and looking forward to, putting that product on the field, that's the spot to be every single home game in the fall, that you're going to be at Snapdragon. It's going to be the party that kicks off the whole athletic calendar, for Sdsu. And then that party just rolls into Viejas as we move through it, right? But it all starts at Snapdragon, and we need the support, and we need to turn that beautiful stadium into, one of the best home field advantages in all the Mountain West.
The Warrior Walk's moving to the south entrance. What does a tradition like that mean to you?
It's really cool, right? I mean, I think all those traditions and pageantries is what makes college football so fun, right? And so to be able to put that, closer to where the tailgating is going to be happening, and to have our fans there to, again, interact with our guys and to, share in the game day experience, I think that's going to be really special.
I think on defense, on the depth chart, there's still like 4s next to 9 of the
Yep.
What does that say coming out of camp? And then, did the guys who were kind of listed first, does that mean they're technically the guy that's the starter? How does that work out?
I mean, when we submitted those depth charts and everything, right, those are the guys that performed at the best level, right? But again, the guys behind them, we know are only a snap away, and they're going to get some meaningful reps as well. And so as we continue to refine the plan as we get closer, right, those guys in those or positions, both of them are going to play, right, dictated on personnel packages and what they do and how they come out, because I know they're going to have some wrinkles for us, right? But all those guys that are listed as oars, I know they're going to be able to play at a level that's going to help us win.
With the name listed first, still be the guy first on the field?
Yeah, yep.
Coach, with the players that were voted as captains by the team, 2 transfers, 2 players who went to high school here, just speak about the leadership that they have and how they were able to bring together, this group as a whole that had so many new faces in the race.
Yeah, I mean, again, those 3 guys between, Trey White and Tano and Coop, again, it goes to their daily process, right, to where each and every single day since they've been here, whenever they joined the program, I think the kids have recognized their consistency, right, and how they've shown up, how they've gone about their process. We talk all the time that work works. And all those guys and all that they do, man, like they put in the work, they do it at a high level. They set the standard, for what we want to happen within the building. And, really, really proud of those guys. And for them to be represented by their players, that's a great honor to be called a captain.
From previous week 1 you've been involved with, what's always the biggest challenge or the biggest concern?
Who are we? Who are they? Right? And again, like this one's, unique, like we've discussed, obviously with all the new people within our building, new staff coming together, right? So it's going to be a tremendous opportunity to learn and to grow literally with each and every single snap. And then again, with the number of new bodies that they have on their sideline, with the new player callers that they have on their sideline, it's just, again, so many variables to where you can be up here all night, sleeping in the office, chasing ghosts, right? And at some point in time, you got to feel confident in the prep that you've put in, what you do really, really well, and put your kids in a position to be successful with that, and then go lean on the base fundamentals, right, and the basic skills. Like, we can't be bored with that, as simple as that sounds, but knowing and understanding that as simple as that is, it's not easy, right? But it's just those unknowns. It's all the variables. So again, what can we control, right? What is our mindset? What is our focus? How are our fundamentals? How much fun can we have, and how physical can we be as we approach this work?
Are you even watching Texas A&M film from last year, or is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What can you pull from that with all the changes you mentioned?
I mean, there are pieces that are still there, right? I mean, shoot, they got their one edge, number 91, is a dynamic player. He's very productive. He's got good bend, right? I mean, so there are pieces that are there, right? Number 7, Epps, they're all conference safety. I mean, he's long, he's rangy. I mean, shoot, they were very opportunistic in the back end, defensively. Again, like you can tell the temperament and the demeanor of their offensive linemen up front. I mean, they're 3 out of their 5 starters from last year are back, right? So there are pieces that are there that you can learn from, right, and just get a feel for, how they want to manage a game and all those things. So, yeah, we're doing our due diligence with all of that, right? But at the end of the day, like, we can have the best influence on, the guys that are in our building, right, and making sure that they feel confident that in the plan and what we put in place, so that they can go out and execute that plan to the best of their ability.
You've been in Snapdragon a few times. Have you had a chance, though, to really take a tour of it and see what it's all about?
Yeah, I mean, got an opportunity through the recruitment process and everything to really know the highlights of what it is. I mean, shoot, there's not a bad seat there, right? I mean, and they did a heck of a job with all the little entertainment districts and everything. So fans need to get there early to take care and take advantage of that opportunity, but then get in the seats and come watch a great product and cheer really loud while we're on defense. And, while the offense is working, just be a little bit quiet until we score and then get rowdy for us.
What about some of the other touches around it that kind of show off San Diego? Did anything stick out?
Well, I thought it was really neat, the old set of lights from the previous stadium that they incorporated, right, and then all the personal touches of, the zoo and the military tie-ins to it. So yeah, it was really, really well done.
What's going to be your approach for the remaining week in practice?
Keep getting better each and every single time that we go out, refine and tighten up the plan as we continue to move. If there's some things, that aren't looking right, I think at this point in time in the journey, we get better by every single time we eliminate a call or a concept, because then we can invest more time in the ones that we know that we're going to utilize. But as we continue to go, right, like things should really get crisp, things should really tighten up. The attention to detail should be at an all-time high, and the excitement to come to work each and every single day, knowing that every single day matters, but Saturday truly counts. That urgency should be really, really high. And I'm excited to see the players have that urgency as they come to work with all that they're doing. Even with, hey, school starting up and everything else that's going on, right, just the intent and the urgency and the focus that we need to have as we go forward and we get to the end of this week.
people here ask it fast, I think they think of passing game, but you go into each game just trying to balance the offense and taking what they give you. How do you work?
I truly believe that if we are patient enough to take what the defense gives us, eventually they'll give us the game, right? And so based on what that looks like, are they going to come down? They're going to be crowding the box, and we're going to have to have the ability to throw it. If they're going to sit in a too-high shell, and the numbers are right in the box, we're going to have to be able to run it, right? But we got to be patient enough to take what they give us, and then ultimately give us the game. We have enough playmakers on the edge, and our kids are pretty humble and know and understand that the offense works for them. And if it turns into, hey, we're running early, by the end of the game, we're probably going to be throwing it late, or vice versa, right? And so it's kind of been that way everywhere that we have been. The kids have embraced that here, and going to look forward to embracing and seeing what they got, what the challenges are that they present, and then finding the solutions with our kids and with our staff to make sure that we have some success on Saturday.
After that game, what's the biggest hope you have that fans come away with?
That they're excited about what they see, that our kids get an opportunity to sing that fight song with joy, and that everyone who wasn't there goes and buys a bunch of tickets for them and their friends and their family for the next week when we got another worthy opponent that's coming in.
You've made a big emphasis on competition through all positions.
Heck yeah.
In between the ones and the twos and even the threes. Are you seeing just a slight difference in the ones and the twos and threes, or is it pretty even?
No, I mean, there's definitely a difference, right? I mean, but we have some good competitive depth, and, we want to make sure that competition is always at the forefront of everything that we do. Again, there's that old saying that iron sharpens iron, right? Like, we're still, at this point in time, doing good on good so we can get the speed of the game. Well, you obviously need to have, your scout periods with everything that you're doing as well. But we're never going to get away from, having a competitive, tough Tuesday practice, right? To where we know, like, hey, this is a work day, and we're going to do some good on good work and get the speed of the game, get our normal down and distance work in before we transition to scouts. But competing will always be a part of it. And I think that's an advantage not only for this Saturday as we move through the season, but for these kids to know and understand in life. You're going to have to compete and earn everything that you do, right? And so I want them to have that instilled in who they are and what they're about. And so that when they, get their degree and they go on and, have a great NFL career, or they turn pro in something else, man, they're going to be ultimate competitors and, be relentless with that trait so they can be successful in all that they do.
And overall, the team speed, have you seen a big jump in team speed between when you first arrived and started?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that first practice that we talked about in the spring, it was like watching paint dry, to where we're at now and how we're able to operate and the understanding and the execution. It's gotten really refined on both sides of the ball. I mean, just to me, great teams communicate. And when you're at our practices and you can close your eyes and you can hear our guys talking and communicating pre-snap, the rate at which they're giving and receiving information has gotten exponentially better, which is going to be critical so that we can all be on the same page and execute 11 hats as one and do our jobs repeatedly, play after play after play after play come Saturday. So, yeah, that has gotten significantly better from where we started.
Previous staffs have used Sunday as an off day and to get treatment. What's your philosophy on using Sunday and then having Monday?
Yeah, so Sunday we're going to be in, right? We'll use that time to own what we put on tape and to learn and to grow from each and every single play that happened. We'll do some physical activity on that day, based on how many snaps a guy played and everything. But Monday will be our off day. I think that's critically important so that the guys can start off the academic week the right way. And then to me, there's a really nice clean break that occurs to where, Sunday you get to put the previous game to bed and then turn the page when that practice and the film session and the weight training is done on Sunday, to where then there's a nice break to where you can then transition by the time the guys show up on Tuesday, right, to where, okay, hey, now it's a new fresh week and you're not having that overlap in terms of we're looking back in the rearview mirror, yet then we have to, simultaneously shift gears and go forward to the next week. So Sunday allows us to learn and to grow and to own what we put on tape. Monday allows us to have the time that we need to prepare. And then Tuesday, when the guys show up, right, we can be looking through the windshield and not be peeking in the rearview mirror because we know what's coming ahead.
You get a chance to see any Friday football locally in high school or?
Some scores. I mean, obviously aware of, the great things that guys are doing and through the beauty of huddle. Obviously, we're well aware of it, and our talent acquisition department does an unbelievable job of making sure all the guys that are on our radar, I'm well aware about what's going on. So, yeah, well aware of what's happening.